What is going on YouTube? Jay here today talking about the Ram 1500 that I got from the auction about 2 months ago. This is a 2015 Bighorn edition. It has the 4x4 capabilities as well. This one has the parking sensors on the front and the rear. Overall, it is a clean truck. It is an Oklahoma truck. It has no rust underneath. Now, I also told you guys that I got it for about $5,500, but I ended up getting $500 back because the title was a little late, and because of that issue, I claimed some money back, and I actually got it back. So I ended up getting it for $5,000 plus the $380 that Manheim charges, which is the auction that I got it from. So I ended up getting it for about $5,380. Now, a lot of you guys might say, wow, that's a great price. It is, but it did have mechanical issues. Just like the title of this video says, I'll be talking in general, things that I've done and how it came out to be a little bit more costly, but I'm still under what it's worth, at least in my area. I live in West Palm Beach County. All around, I paid about maybe $11,500 for this truck in total. That was adding new tires. I had to add some wheel bearings, especially on the driver's side. The bearing on the differential was bad, and also on the front side, I added the rear shocks. I put new tires in it, and I also put accessories like customized floor mats, seat covers. I have an amplifier. I put tints on it. I added the radio. I added the shorty antenna. I did a transmission drain with the pan replacement. This one has the 8-speed transmission. I believe it is the 8HP70 transmission specifically. This is the radio that I added to it, and I also added a different cluster. I added this dash mat, also the dash cam as well. I made a video on this, and I just changed a couple lights. I changed everything to LED lights, and as you guys can tell, this is a pretty clean truck. I added that steering wheel cover. I know it might look a little cheesy for some people, but I like it. So when I did this engine, I did a whole rebuild on it. It was $3,500, and then it was $3,500, and I did add a couple things that were not included with the rebuild for that $3,500. Now, this is the same engine, but the block was honed, is what they call it, when they resurface the inside of where the pistons go. They also they resurfaced the blocks. They polished everything. They took everything apart, and everything was good with that. So luckily, there was no major damage done to that area. But it had bad lifters and it had a bad cam, so they had to replace that. They cleaned the valves. They added new bearings on the inside. They added a new water pump. That was part of the deal. They also added a new oil pump. Now, oil pump, they were going to add the regular standard oil pump, which is the one that's been causing the lifter issues. You see, the problem with these engines is that they're not good with idling. Meaning that, if you're just sitting there letting the AC blow in and you're just sitting there on your phone watching TikToks and your engine is idling, you actually are killing the engine little by little. And that's the cause for the lifter failures on these engines, which is known on every single 5.7 Hemi. And so, yeah, so the lifters had to be replaced, the cam had to be replaced, all the bearings on the inside. Now, as for the oil pump, I added it's called the HV oil pump, high volume oil pump by Melling. So Melling, they make aftermarket oil pumps that just provide higher pressure of oil, meaning that your oil is going to get distributed throughout the whole entire engine all the time, even when it's idling. So I added that, and another thing I added, guys, that will make this engine bulletproof is the BD diesel manifolds. Now, many people get confused. They say, but this is not a diesel. BD diesel is actually a brand, okay? It's actually a brand, and they make manifolds for the Ram 1500, which is what we have here, and I added those as well. Since the guy had the engine out, I said, let's do it right. Let's make this engine bulletproof. So basically, I replaced all the problems that these engines typically are known for, which is the lifter problems. The lifters are the updated lifters for the newer Hemis that Dodge released. They had better needle bearings, and so those were replaced for the updated ones. That's what the mechanic told me. He even showed me. So this has better lifters. It has a upgraded manifold on each side, and it has the milling oil pump. And with these three things, you are creating an engine that will last many years to come, guys. Besides that, everything else, the electronics, and even underneath, I'm going to go ahead and try to show you here that there's no rust right there. You guys can see it clearly that the truck has a very, very clean frame all the way through. Okay, so you know that gives you a sense that the truck, besides that, it is in great shape. Again, I had that bearing problem on the other side, which was also causing a differential leak. Luckily, I caught it in time, and I noticed there was oil, very smelly oil, around this area here. And so I took everything apart, and it had play, guys. It had like almost 3 inches, almost like 2.5 inches of play back and forth. So I don't know how this truck was driving like that, but it did damage the shaft as well. So I had to replace the whole shaft that goes all the way to the middle. I had to replace the bearing, the seal, plus clean everything up. Then I added fresh 75W90 synthetic oil. I ran it for like 3,000 miles, and then I drained it again and filled it up just so that I rinsed everything. Those little metal particles that was inside of the differential, I rinsed it, and then I drained it and filled it back up, and everything is good, guys. I also added this plastic trim. If you look at the video I'm telling you about, you will notice how I added that because it was missing. I also added the bed cover as well, and I did replace that lamp on the top because the seal was not very good, and I was afraid it was going to cause some leaks. When I replaced the lights for LEDs, it was kind of toasted. It wasn't leaking yet. I didn't wait until it happened to take action. I added this USB port. I changed the 12-volt lighter adapter that was here, and I put a USB that connects to the aftermarket radio. I might get another one of those fancier Tesla style radio. There's one that costs almost $1,000, but that thing is amazing. It looks really nice. And even the cluster, now they make them where they are entirely screen and they display a lot of cool information. I might do that as well. But as you guys can observe, overall this truck is super clean. Of course, I had to add my touches to it and clean, especially some stains that were up here. But yeah, like I said, guys, I think it's a great truck. No rust, no other known issues besides the lifter problems. And when I bought it, I knew it had a misfire and some issues. So I immediately searched because, like I said, when I had the 2017 Ram, I wasn't quite familiar with the Hemi Tick because I sold that truck with 22,000 miles when I got the Highlander. So the truck was fairly new and I wasn't having that issue. But then I searched and I read that the Hemi Tick issue, which involves the valves and the camshaft, was a real thing. Then that's when I said, well, I'm getting it cheap, but I got it even cheaper, guys. I also added new headlights. The other headlights were okay, but they were starting to fog out a little bit. I put LED lights. See, but those are just things that didn't, that were not needed, that I just did so that the truck had a better appearance. I also repainted. I added this bumper. It was missing the upper bumper here, the white one, and I got it repainted. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. So basically that's what I did to make this truck bulletproof and for it to last a long time. We got to see how the tranny is going to hold. That's why I did a tranny service as well. I drained all the fluid, added the recommended Mopar 8 to 9 speed transmission oil, and I got the Mopar oil pan with the filter, which all comes together. I did that as well, and there's a sequence that you have to follow when you replace that oil. You can't just add it on there. You had to lift the back, level the transmission. You had to do a sequence, like start the truck. You had to. It's a whole mess. There's there's a couple of videos here on YouTube that shows you how to do it. But overall, I think I made a good purchase here, especially now knowing that the truck has better components on the engine. I think it will last a long time, guys. With this being said, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys on my next one. And in case you are curious to hear what the engine sounds like, well, here it is, guys. It sounds like a newly rebuilt engine. Everything is perfect, no more ticking, no more misfires. It sounds like brand new.